All right, so again, just to refresh, you click on the link to client's name, and then if there's no task or if there's an overdue task, you can make a call to that client. But if there's a white task, meaning the task is set to happen in the future, then you don't have to touch that lead and you just have to move on to the next. And as you start the call, as you introduce yourself, it is very advisable to go through the notes so you'll know how to start a conversation. You can mention keywords that the client would actually remember talking to someone about, or that's going to catch the client's attention because a call is coming from someone from a number that he doesn't really recognize. So it's good to be able to mention something that's going to remind him that he was interested about that particular property in the past. So like a mobile home. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about condominiums in San Jose, and you spoke with Mercedes. Just wanted to see if you're still shopping around, and then go on with the conversation. And if the client is still shopping around, then of course you offer similar listings and send similar listings to their email. And if it's an older lead, it's always wise to verify the email address just to be sure it's still the same email address that they're using, and for us not to waste time and for us to be able to really reconnect with the client. Verify the email address. I hope you're writing it down. And then send the similar listings as promised. And if they mentioned about stopping to shop for a home because they have issues getting approved for a loan anyway, then you try to probe, ask questions as to why they think that, ask about the credit score. Do they have an idea what the credit score is? Have they been employed for a couple of years? Or if there's any other scenario that we haven't really talked about during training, feel free to reach out to me. And if I don't know the answer, then we're going to reach out to a lender that we're working with. If they have already bought a home, then you make a note that they already bought a home. No more task for you to follow up. And you just change the tagging from contacted to dead if they have already found a home. Now, if you can see here on the last column, it shows Luke, Monroe, Dan, and Mercedes Cronfeld. The first drop-down box is actually for the agent assigned to it. So there's no more space for your name. But if you did talk to the client, depending on who the last agent he talked to, then that's the name of the agent you're gonna keep. So in this case, we're gonna have Mercedes be on top of the list and take Dan out. Let's see if they spoke. But normally you'll only have one agent. Okay, so let's see if Dan and Roberto spoke in the past. They didn't. So you can just take Dan's name out of it. Out. Roberto didn't talk to Luke either. The system just automatically assigned it to Luke and Dan. And then we take Mercedes' name out of the last box as well. And you put in your name as the client concierge on the second drop-down box. You just please select it's going to be empty. Then you choose the second drop-down box. You click on the second drop-down box and you put in your name on it. So the usual setup is the number 1 field is for the agent and the number 2 field is for the client concierge. Okay. So since this is a lead that we last touched 14 days ago, I can actually show you. I just thought about it. I can actually show you how to create a task. Create a task, add task. Make sure that you're the admin. Task is to follow up, or you can put in whatever that's going to remind you what the next follow-up is going to be about. For example, Roberto and I spoke about talking to a lender. Then my follow-up task for myself is to talk to lender yet. Then that's going to remind me how to start a conversation as soon as Roberto picks up the call. But in this case, I'm just going to say follow up. And when you think you should be calling Roberto back, I'm going to say 27th because I'm going to be off until Tuesday. And time, you don't really have to specify a time if you haven't really spoken to him, or if there's no specified time, then don't just leave it blank. And then click send. And there's the task. If you're going to delete a task, you just tap on it once and it's going to be deleted. To create it, again, make sure that you're the admin and put a reminder as to what the next call is going to be about, when the next call is going to take place. No need for the time if you weren't asked to call at a specific time. Click send. And there's the task. To delete the task, again, you just tap on it once and it's going to be gone. Now to create a message, I'm going to say, so you can use either email or phone call if you try to email the client. If you email the client, you have to copy the message you sent onto the database. So you click email, you copy it here, and then click submit. So you can, everyone or everybody in the team can actually see what took place between you and the client. And you also have to do the same if the client texted or emailed you back. Then you have to copy and paste his response. Is that clear? Okay. And this one, other, you can also use other. In person, obviously, because we're not going to be meeting them. Text, we don't have a way of texting yet. Email is for email conversation. Phone call is for phone call conversation. Other is for anything that you think anybody who's going to handle Roberto should know. For example, only call in the morning. And then click submit. And it's going to be there. If it has to be a sticky note, meaning it's always going to be on top of the notes, regardless, like it's a very important note. For example, Spanish only, or does not want to be called by his first name. Well, I haven't encountered that, but it's a good note that everyone should be advised about. So we choose other, we put in the note here, and then we click on sticky. It's always going to be on top of the messages. So if I ask Joms to follow up on Roberto on my behalf, Joms click on Roberto Rivas, and Joms saw the green note here that he doesn't want to be called Roberto, but instead Mr. Rivas, then he's going to say Mr. Rivas. So that's again for sticky notes. But if it's just a note that's not really of that high priority, then you just click other. And also, guys, there's no way for us to delete messages. And also, as you put in your message, there's going to be a timestamp. So be sure that you are pasting the correct email to the correct client and putting in your notes to the correct client, because we can't delete it. Any questions, you guys? Okay. So again, the phone number is clickable. You click on it, it's going to dial your Skype right away. But the email, it's actually giving me an option to log on to Outlook or sometimes to a website. So what I do is I just copy and paste the email and just copy it and paste it on my Gmail account and send the email through that. So once this is done, we go to Fauzia Ahmed. There's a white task, so let's move on to the next. John Kaushik. They all have a follow-up task. So that's it. And same for attempted. So if you come across a lead that doesn't have anybody in here, like all the drop-down boxes say please select, then you can put your name on the top. And they haven't spoken to anybody yet, then you can put your name on the top. But usually the second box is for us, the first box is for the agent. And that's it. Any questions? Oh, one more. No questions? Okay, one more. So say you spoke with an old lead and they're still shopping around and you offered similar listings and they're a yes in getting it. Oh, okay, well, and they are already pre-approved, like they're ready to go. They just don't have a realtor helping them and keeping them motivated by sending them properties. Then you send them the listings and they agreed to check it right away and they wanted to go look at it tomorrow. Then you're able to re-engage the client and book a showing out of an older lead. Then that's good. Once you've done that and once you've booked a showing, you check the showing instructions first on the MLS. If it asks you to call the listing agent, the number of the listing agent is on the MLS, so you call the listing agent. And if it says go directly, there's a box in there, then you can call our agent right away and confirm if they can take it. And if they can, then you put it in their calendar. So this is how the calendar is going to look like. So you click on the calendar and you go to the date of the appointment. So say, for example, we were able to book an appointment tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So tomorrow is going to be the 21st. So we look for the 21st. I know it's complicated looking as of the moment, but it's just a matter of practice, and as you get familiar, it's going to be easier for you to understand the calendar. So this is the 21st. You just tap on it once, and it's going to give you an option to put something in somebody's calendar. For example, I spoke with Sydney. Sydney said, yeah, sure, I can take that appointment tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Please write this down. So the admin is now going to be Sydney, and the event is showing dash and then the client's name. And then the location is the property that the client wants to see. And then the description, whatever information you think Sydney should know. Already pre-approved. Spanish speaking, needs someone who speaks Spanish. And then the start date is usually the date of the appointment, which is already in there. And at the time, they're going to be meeting 21st, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So just give it an hour, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then click send. And it's going to go to Sydney's, it's going to be sent to Sydney's phone as a reminder through text and email. So that's how you set an appointment to our agents. But you don't, it is not advisable to just go to the calendar and see which ones are available. You always have to confirm with the agent over the phone. If you tried calling them and they're busy, they're not picking up, you can leave them a message or you can shoot them an email. Now, if the agent takes a while to get back to you and the appointment is not going to be the same day anyway, then you just have to call the client back that you're going to get back to them as soon as you get to talk to the agent. Just set the right expectation as to when they can expect a call back from you. Alright, so that's all about the lead database. Let me know if you guys have any questions.